Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Tell It Like It Is radio podcast. I'm your host, Ro Clark, and it's a lot I want to talk about, but on this segment, it's a lot I need to cover from the Canelo and Gigi fight, second week of NFL football, the score, stats, news, and to our previous Monday Night Football game. And I've been meaning to get to this stuff, but schedule just been crazy, and I actually had a chance to get to it today. So, with that being said, one thing I want to talk about that I found quite interesting that I've heard and I've read over the weekend, and it was James Harden. He made a quote. He had a statement, and he was just saying that how the 2018 Houston Rockets compared to the 2012 Oklahoma City Thunder. And but before I give my thoughts, I want to read to you what he said. He said both teams, I quote, both teams are similar as far as talent and versatility, a mixture of vets and young guys. Both are very, very talented. Now, obviously, the difference is we were younger back then, but both are good. So now that I read that, I just want to quote. I just want to dissect his statement right here. So first of all, the 2018 Houston Rockets. I don't see no similarities compared to the 2012 OKC Thunder. For one, you guys only have an aging Chris Paul who's still a pit bull at the point guard, and then you have James Harden who had a hell of a year, an historic season, MVP season, and then he turned to James Softon the Game 7 against San Antonio. Then you guys let go of Lou Will, who gave you guys 20 points off the bench. Then you let go of Patrick Beverly, and so forth. So, to be honest, from the looks on paper, I don't think this team is nowhere as good as the 2012 OKC Thunder. Just due to, the only thing that they would have over OKC then is the fact that these guys are on a whole nother level. Their game is on a whole nother level. They got experience under their belt. And like I said, James Harden is just balling out of control. And he's doing what we all knew he could do. Once James Harden got out that 6-man role of OKC, and we all seen at OKC that this dude definitely needed his. I'm not going to say he needed his own team, because if this team would have stayed intact, there would be no Golden State Warriors. Or matter of fact, there would be a Golden State Warriors, but at the same time, the talks out west would be Golden State and OKC. It wouldn't just be we're going to fast forward the season to June when we got Golden State versus Cleveland. No, this team for sure would have had multiple championships by now, and would have been given Curry and Golden State a run for their money. And I say that, I did some research. I did my homework here as always. But you got to think. I look back at the 2012 OKC Thunder, and for these guys to be young bulls, you got KD. First of all, he was averaging 28 points, 3 assists, and 8 rebounds. Russ was averaging 23 points, 5 assists, and 6 rebounds. James Harden off the bench was averaging 16 points per game. And then you got Ibaka, who was blocking shots and averaging 9 points. And nobody on this roster was under 6'1". And the only 6'1" guy they had was Derek Fisher. He was their. I'm not gonna say he was their closer, because KD definitely was their closer sometimes when he showed up in the fourth. But he was definitely. We all know what Fisher can do when he was with Utah, Lakers, and so forth. We all know what Fisher does. He hits big shots. He's like a Chauncey Billups. He'll hit the big late shots for your team without breaking a sweat. So this team went 47-19. I believe that was the lockout year. They finished first in Northwest Division. Then off the bench, like they had a solid team. They had a solid team. You had your Eric Maynard, you had your Reggie Jackson coming off the bench. Then with size, you had Cole Aldrich, you had Nick Collison, you had Muhammad, you had Perkins. So the size was there. Then you had Debo Cephalosha. I don't know what happened to him. You had Cephalosha, who was considered their lockdown defender on the wing. So like, just imagine if this team would have stayed intact compared to the Golden State Warriors. I'm not even gonna. I know I'm not even gonna compare this OKC team to the Rockets. Really, no comparison. The season didn't tip off yet. This is Chris Paul and James Harden first year together. I don't even know if this roster is fully together, because they're still trying to bring in Carmelo, which I don't even know what's going to happen now, but we'll see. But then you look at the 73-9 Golden State Warriors, the team that KD joined, and you got Curry averaging 30, Clay averaging 22, Green averaging 14, Barnes averaging 11, and then with their size and their depth, you got Bogut, Ezeli, and Livingston, who all averaged 6 points, and Iggy averaged 7, who was the MVP that year of the finals. So this, like I said, and also if this team after losing to Miami in the 2012 finals, if they would have stayed intact and came back that following season, bro, I had this team going back and winning the championship. It would have been like OKC and Miami, how it is Cleveland versus Golden State. Like this would have been crazy. It would have been crazy. Now I wouldn't mind watching that for 4 years straight. And to be honest, like I tell my buddies this all the time. To my buddies, that series, that NBA Finals series, that made me respect Westbrook. That made me not respect KD. Also, along with KD move, but that's another story, another segment I already covered. But I don't know if you guys remember, but I remember this like it was yesterday. I'm watching Westbrook, and I believe it was like fourth quarter, and OKC was just losing, man. Harden was nowhere to be found. He was a ghost. KD was a ghost, missing shots. Then show up in the fourth. This dude Westbrook, I just remember him just attacking coast to coast, and he gave Miami Heat and Chris Bosh. I'm just saying Miami big men about 16 or 18 straight buckets, and I'm not talking about coming down, crossing up, pull up. No, he was attacking, one speed, one high motor. Like, I'm just looking at. I remember watching this game like, damn, this dude Westbrook is a beast. And like ever since then, man, that's when I really started following him. I had the chance to see Westbrook, and I went my pops out in Philly. This one freaking, what's his name? Scotty Reynolds at Villanova, and Westbrook and Kevin Love was at UCLA. This one Hasheem the Beat was on UConn. But anyway, I went to see him out Philly, man, and even then, like that guy was just explosive, just dunking all over Villanova and so forth. But yeah, man, if this team would have stayed intact, this would have been a crazy, crazy, crazy dynasty right here out west. And I don't think the talk between Curry and the Warriors and all this stuff that's going on today would even be mentioned. I mean, but they might have still had a 73-9 season, but it wouldn't have been no guys. It wouldn't have been us or people just handing them the trophy year after year after year after year, especially with the KD edition. So guys, thanks for listening. My next segment, I will cover the NFL. Give you your stats, news, and your scores. I will also cover the Canelo fight. I have a lot of work to do. So guys, thanks for listening. Please give me feedback on what you guys think about the 2012 Oklahoma City Thunder versus the I can't even say that. Let's say the 2015 Golden State Warriors that went 73-9. And do you agree with James Harden comment? Is the 2018 Houston Rockets similar to the 2012 OKC Thunder? Guys, thanks for listening. Please be sure to subscribe, share, and listen. my Tell Like It Is Radio podcast. You can also follow me on social media, Instagram at Tell Like It Is PC. Thanks for listening, guys. Have a blessed day.